Hello everybody, it's your boy Chichuki back with another Chichuki Views episode. Tonight on the program we're playing Foretales, a game on Steam. I want to thank the developers for the review code. We're going to do what we normally do. We're going to set a clock timer for 45 minutes. But first things first, I'm going to lower the music just a little bit. That's what the main one. Alright, so without further ado, man, it's weird playing on a controller. A mysterious patron, Volpain, needs money to help his father and the local miners. His friend Leo says there's someone in town that has a very lucrative offer. Welcome to Foretales, an adventure game where you progress by combining cards and exploring decks. This is it, Volpain, our ticket to the easy life. One last job and our days of stealing apples from the market are behind us.
That's what you said the last time. So who's the contractor yours?
His name's Timothy. He says he has worked for people like us.
And you sure he can pay? Cause I could really do with some money right now.
I think he's a crow. God, I hope he is. Don't worry, he promised a hefty reward. Should be more than enough to help your father and the miners with their strike. And for me to take an early retirement. He's just a little difficult to track down in town sometimes. We better ask around then.
He looks like a good place to start.
Good day to you, young man. How can I be of assistance? We're looking for someone by the name of Timothy.
I see. I'm gonna play with the mouse. This is a pain in the ass. I think they recommend using the mouse anyway.
I see. A very secretive fellow he is. Or is he, whatever. I think I heard something about him the other day, but sadly my memory isn't what it once was.
Right. And what might jog your memory, I wonder?
A bite to eat usually does the trick. About 5 apples should be sufficient.
I guess, or apples and wine, I guess. 5? It's enough to last a few days.
Ignore my friend here. We'll come back with some food for you.
We already have one, just 4 to go. A typical region of the game is composed of 3 to 6 location cards placed on the board. You can learn more by hovering your cursor over a card. Sometimes, left click on cards will also trigger dialogue or a reaction from your characters. Try it out for yourself on the left card with the beggar. He will remind you of what he wants.
Would you spare a morsel of food for an old beggar?
I wouldn't call 5 a morsel.
This is demanding work for an old man like myself. I'd like to see you try it.
Yeah, you'll get your food. You have 2 types of action cards at your disposal. Skill cards of your adventurers, and consumable cards. Targets will often be location cards, but not always. When you hover over one of your cards, the possible targets are highlighted, along with hints as to what will happen if you play there. So pay attention to what is highlighted and where the hints appear. Conversely, if you place your cursor over elements of the board, it will highlight the action cards you can play there. Take a moment to explore your current cards and see if you can figure out a way to find enough food to proceed. Now, how is that for a juicy piece of gossip? One very important rule to remember, you can only play 1 card per location card on the board. Sometimes it will transform the target card into another location, but most of the time it will just consume it and travel to the next card. A standard used card from the board will go back to the bottom of the deck. And once Once a slot is available, it will automatically be filled with the top card from the exploration deck. You can't run out of location cards to explore because the exploration deck always cycles.
You know what they say. An apple a day and all that.
Right on time. I'm starving. Okay. Try that. Looks like a good spot to refill our canteens. Over here! Leo's mighty roar drew a crowd of curious townsfolk. Not my proudest moment. Where's my money? That stole from me.
Well, that certainly didn't make you any friends. I don't know what you did to wind them up, but they look mad.
Beware, a hostile token is blocking this card. You won't be able to play any cards on this suspicious street until you get rid of those bandits. If you left-click on the token, you can see the creatures forming the group and decide whether or not to engage. Most confrontations start with a negotiation phase. If you have the correct resources, you might be able to discard this threat without any violence. If you don't absolutely need to play a card here, you may as well avoid any conflict and play on the other cards available. I think we're gonna do this move to next location. Let me see. Try this one.
Very kind of you, I must say.
Can't do anything. Hear the enemies watching this location. 4 step away. Oh, I can play the money? Yeah, let's do that.
Well, I don't know about you, but my mouth is watering. Volpan was ready to take on the law.
There you go, monkey man.
Oh, thank you, young man.
Now about this Timothy chap.
Oh, but of course. Where are my manners? Go follow this path.
That should show the way. Well, how very altruistic.
Thanks for the tip, friend. A good day to you, bird.
Well, what now?
I suppose we should follow the old beggar's directions on a piece of paper.
Sometimes you'll have to seek directions to progress in the story and reach new destinations. Check the descriptions of on your cards. This piece of paper?
Yeah, that one.
Ah, bandits. Lovely.
A 2 and a 1. Yeah, we're going into that one.
Nothing's worth a fight with the watch guards. Perhaps there's another way.
Oh, they're guards? I thought they were like random hooligans. When you hover over the cards at your disposal, you may discover ways to get rid of some of your opponents. If you get rid of enough opponents, you'll bring the morale of the group down to 0 and the rest will flee. If you use an aggressive card, the confrontation will automatically turn into a fight. But if you don't have any cards to play, or you don't want to play any cards, left-click on the auto battle token to trigger the fight manually. Okay, one of the hostiles you're facing has a special power. Special powers are signified by wooden tokens on the left side of the creature card. Enemy powers can trigger during the negotiation phase or during combat. They may trigger once or every few rounds. If you hover over a creature card, you'll see a detailed description of its power. So I put that on.
Yeah! How are you going to get out of this one, Volpan?
From now on, both both sides will automatically attack the opponent directly opposite them, or to the left if no one's directly in front of them. Between each round of attack, you can play one card per adventurer. Again, if you don't want to play cards, you can use the auto battle.
Tell my mother
An enemy was just removed from the confrontation. In most cases, this will subtract its level from the enemy's morale. Should the enemy morale reach 0, the remaining hostiles will flee. The level of an enemy is the number in the top left corner. Here's a quick breakdown of creature cards. Oh, I like that guy, he's cool looking. The number in the red token at the bottom left represents health points. Bring it to 0 and the creature is dead. The number next to the sword icon is the attack score. That's the number of health points removed every round to the creature directly opposite when the fists finally start to fly. The number in the top left corner is the level of that creature. That's pretty important because it's the value removed from the enemy's morale when the creature is removed from another. In a confrontation, there can be 1 or 2 fighters per side per column. Only the front creature will take damage from the auto battle phase, but it will take damage equal to the sum of the attack scores of the opposition. Creatures in the back can only be affected by action cards or after the creature in front of them has been defeated. Jesus Christ. Play 2 action cards or launch the assault. You may swap your teammate's position. Oh, I can only play crow cards for crow.
All right. Who wants a taste? Yeah, now we're talking.
Alright, we beat those hooligans that we did.
At least one of your adventurers is down to the last few skill cards. Maybe you can use the rest deck to recover some. Since rest cards will give skill cards back to all adventurers, it's often a good idea to use actions from all your adventurers and not just one. If you spread the effort between them, they won't have to rest often. You may rest at the campfire for a while to regain some... Where's the campfire?
These adventurers, am I right? No sense of urgency.
You've recovered some skill cards and suffered no other consequences. Don't expect it to be that easy all the time. The next card in the deck will cost you food or wine or health points. And the last card of the rest deck is always a game over, so be sure to check out how many times you can hope to rest in a region. Once you move on to the next region, the rest deck will be replaced with a new set of cards. And the number of rest cards in the next region is independent of how many you've used. Also, it's random. Oh, I have 2. Let's see, a 4, a 2, and a 1. A 4, a 2, and a 1, a 2, and a 3. You know, let's move the... Food, drink, good company. What more could a strapping young adventurer need?
Compared to some of the other things he'd stolen, this was small potatoes.
Oi, someone stole me lunch.
Oh, you weren't finished with that?
Oh, friends of yours?
Be foolish, Jolly Panthers. Much of a gossip. You know, let's fight these guys.
Be smart, and you might walk away from this richer.
Can I not move him over there?
Yeah, now we're talking. Right between the eyes. Oof, he felt that one.
Oh. Oh, I can fight both, but I'm at the same. You brought the enemy morale to 0. All remaining hostiles will flee. When you trigger a panic, each fleeing enemy will grant you 1, whatever that is, whatever their level.
When all else fails, run away.
Fame, good deed can open many doors. Well, would you look at that? Found some money. You'll never starve if you know the right places to look. Apples, fresh apples, no maggots in them or nothing. God, I gotta stop saying that out loud. This game is a little complicated. Leo's mighty roar drew a crowd of curious townsfolk.
We don't want any trouble here.
One of your adventurers is hurt. If any of your adventurers reach 0 health points, the mission is lost and you'll have to replay it. You can use apples or other consumables to heal, but maybe you should also consider swapping the positions of your adventurers during fights. And anytime during a fight, you can swap 2 adventurers to try and optimize how damage is spread among them.
They won't know what's hit 'em. Do yourself a favor. Don't get up. A much-needed boost. A much-needed boost. Oh, ouch. That'll hurt in the morning. Nope. No, he'll be dead.
I think we're gonna give. Get some more apples.
Well, you won't go hungry for a while.
Population here are in dire need of help, but can also offer assistance if they're needed, if they're asked nicely enough. Well, would you look at that?
Well, you won't go hungry for a while.
You'll never starve if you know the right places to look.
Ooh, this could get messy. This doesn't have to end in bloodshed.
any number of non-aggressive cards or start the fight with a combat card.
Those thugs, you're taking on the gods of the watch? That's not going to go unnoticed. Oh, that ought to even the odds a little.
Why can't I use it? Alright, there's your log. Menu and all that stuff.
Are you quite finished? We've got an apocalypse to avert.
Oh, I thought that would recover my health. Get the fame.
I think you can,
Well,
sir.
how very altruistic.
Alright, so now we got more fame. Looks like this is a good spot to refill our canteens.
Very generous of you.
Oh, that I can do.
Couldn't have done it better myself.
A heavily bandaged figure stood alone in the alleyway. He looked like he was waiting for someone. As Volpain and Leo approached, the figure turned to greet them.
Ah, Leo, you're finally here.
And you brought a crow. I'm a shoe bill, whatever the hell that is. But of course you are. We heard you have work. Do I ever? But before we get down to brass tacks, I always like to get an understanding of who it is I'm working with. What do you mean? I'd like a demonstration of the value you bring to this operation. Demonstration? Yes, you know, skills, my boys. Show me your skills. The pair looked at each other perplexed. What did he mean? Skills. Skills in combat, sleight of hand, or maybe just a good old trick shot. In one seamless motion, Leo pulled out his bow and let fly an arrow straight at the leopard. Timothy felt a whoosh of air as the hat flew clean off his head. By the time he turned around, it was already pinned to a nearby tree. How's that for a demonstration? A little dramatic, but a fine shot nonetheless. Timothy turned around, picked up his hat, and placed it carefully back on his head. Well, I've certainly seen enough to pique my interest. Now perhaps you could tell us what it was you needed. I would like for the two of you to acquire an item for me. A very rare and beautiful leer, currently in the possession of Lady Cattell. You mean the old bat who lives on my hill? I wouldn't call her that to her face, but yes, that's her. I'd like you to break into her manor, steal the leer, whatever, and bring it to me at the Holy Grove. The Holy Grove? I know that place well. I'll get you there myself, Volpain. Excellent, excellent. Then I shall leave it to you. Alright, we got a job to do. At long last. We can get straight to it if you think we're ready to go. Or we can spend some more time in the streets to prepare. It's your call. You have completed this region. You can either proceed to the next, or you might want to spend some more time here to gather resources and allies. Beware, consumables and resources are carried over from one region to the next, but they are not carried over from one mission to the next, so there's no need to hoard excessively. So, fame and stuff.
Friends of yours, Vorpan?
Region complete. Move on whenever you're ready. Plus food.
Ah, delicious. Ah, delicious. I don't know what you did to wind them up, but they look mad.
Just use a skill card, but the only effect is to move to the next location in the exploration deck. It's not the most efficient way to travel, but skill cards with no effect on a particular location or encounter will at least remove this card and move to the next card in the deck. If what you need for a mission is to reach a card somewhere in the deck, moving forward is actually useful. Somewhere in the garden, Leo has brought Volpain to the city gardens, where food is plentiful and secrets lurk around every corner. Deep in the labyrinth lies our hero's destination for the evening, Lady Catel's manor. There are now several hostile creatures in the search party. The deck of cards representing the animals chasing your party. Each time a new location card appears on the board, if it has a search party call token with an eye, it may spawn a group of enemies from the search party. Some of your actions may also add hostiles to the search party, hostiles that you may have to face later, so be careful. Right then, Timothy said the instrument is inside Lady Catel's manor. The big house with the labyrinth? That's the one, but getting through that hedge maze is going to be tough. I think I saw some gardeners wandering around earlier. Maybe they know the way.
Here comes trouble.
Yeah, let's talk to the... No, it's not going to A little help. Sure thing. Now all we need to do is lead the gardener to the labyrinth, and the rest should be easy.
Could be a good spot to loot.
Most decks on the board can be browsed. For example, if you check the content of the exploration deck, you can see what will be the next locations to be revealed. Maybe your current objective is somewhere in there. Maybe you want to check if the card you're looking for is coming soon. If a card is not in the exploration deck, there may be a way to access it with some castle effect or some exclamation effect. Now remember, the exploration deck is cycling.
There has to be a way in.
I've trimmed these hedges for many a time. Follow me.
That's quite a statue.
What? What is it? Sorry, sirs, I'd rather not go any further. What? You're serious? We're barely halfway. It's the statue, sirs. Bad luck. It is haunted. The gardener backed away from the statue nervously, leaving Volpain alone. They had to admit it was a rather foreboding sight. Great. Shh. Quick, hide.
Oh no, the cops.
us during a mission, you can always use the hint system. Hovering over the button will show a very condensed reminder of your objective. Using the hint system will trigger some help based on your current situation. How are we going to cross the map maze? Get rid of those guards first. Remember, it doesn't have to be a bloodbath. 1, 3, and a 2. We're going in here.
Perhaps you can grease the wheels of justice here, Volpan. All right. Volpan, those are guards of the watch. I'm afraid there will be consequences for that. Well, bye-bye.
Look, I can see some documents through the glass. You think they'll be useful? Only one way to find out. Maybe that gardener could open the door for us. A little story that can be devastating to someone's reputation if it came to light. It can be traded with allies or used to blackmail enemies.
Everyone can be bought. They must have heard of you, Volpan. Ah, your reputation precedes you, Volpan. They won't know. Here comes the law. Quitters!
Using the hint system multiple times may give more explicit help for more complex situations. Try to rest here.
I was just resting my eyes.
It winds me up. I see people eating raw apples all the time. It's like they don't even know you can cook them. Greenhouse, I've heard people talk nearby. Maybe try to listen to what's happening here. There could be 4
never know. There could be some good loot in there.
Yes.
All right, break time's over. Back to work.
Alright, let's use the last apple we have. Got a 2, a 1, and a 3.
Everyone can be bought. Ah, your reputation precedes you, Volpan. All right. How are you going to get out of this one, Volpan?
Tell my mother I love her.
Look, I can see some documents through the glass. Think they're useful? Well, I want to find out. Maybe that gardener could open a door for us.
What have you done this time? They're overworked and underpaid. Maybe there's a deal to be struck. I hope you know what you're doing fighting the Watch. Yeah, now we're talking. A much-needed boost. Well, they knew the risks when they signed up. Could be something good there.
Oh, now I can use the gardener. Looks like a map of the labyrinth, but only the last part. That's the only part we need. Perfect, let's go back and follow the map from the center. If I'm reading this right, we should be there in no time. Good thing, too, it's almost nighttime. Perfect timing. The darker, the better.
That's Lady Catel's manor.
Sometimes your adventurers won't have their best skill cards in their hand, but don't worry. Anytime you're not in combat, you can trade a skill card from your hand for another one. Just drag the card above its owner's deck and choose a new card.
Oh, you ever have a nap so good that you forget that the world is ending?
That's a very good voice for this. Alright, let's see. This will require nimble hands. Oh, good thing, I have exactly that. Under the cover of night, Volpan ghosted into the manor undetected. There, in plain sight, stood the leer, in all its splendor, glinting the moonlight. All he had to do was reach out and take it. Reach out and touch it!
The second he touched the mysterious lyre, Volpan felt an ancient power flowing through him. Reality fractured and exploded into an infinite number of worlds, all identical and yet somehow distinct. Beyond the webs of fate, he witnessed all possible futures, resonating, vibrating, clashing. And then he saw, and he knew. He, his loved ones, his city, his kingdom, his world, everything was going to disappear, swallowed up by a cataclysm whose origin lurked behind the veil of possibilities.
That's deep. The second he touched the relic, the sheer power of the visions caused poor Volpan to collapse on the spot. Leo took his unconscious friend on his back and fled the manor, an army of guards at his heels. Hang in there, old friend. We'll get through this. I'll deal with the guards and get you to a safe place. Volpan? Volpan! You completed this mission with a few victims in your graveyard deck. For now, it won't change anything, but beware. If you leave a trail of bodies behind you, you may have to face the consequences later.
Outstanding, Volpan. Truly outstanding.
Victory! Volpan awoke in the forest of Ronsiray, his head throbbing. The lyre was on the ground beside him, but Leo was nowhere to be found. Leo? Leo? Where is he? What happened? At that moment, he remembered the visions.
Oh no!
Before he had time to think, Volpan was struck with a vision of his friend in prison. A wave of despair swept over him. Leo, where are they taking him? Where are they going to execute him? Oh, gods, please, no. This is a Doom event card. It symbolizes tragic events that only Volpan can see, and that will lead the world to its end. The number above the Doom event indicates how many turns you have left before it happens, or at least that's if you do nothing to prevent it. Each mission you complete costs a turn, but don't worry, if you fail to complete a mission, you can always retry with no time. I need to help him before it's too late. They must have locked him up in Eisenberg prison. This is a mission card. The choice of which missions you complete and the order in which you complete them is crucial to preventing Doom events from occurring. Missions also contain secret side objectives and choices, all leading to different outcomes. It's up to you to experiment and make the right choices to fight fate. Reach out and touch fate. I'm coming, Leo. Wait, what the?
It can't be!
The militia onslaught. Volpan was struck with another flash. The smell of blood, the clash of metal, the roar of a battle. That's metal as shit. A vision of a massacre yet to come. The mine is strike. Father! The militia are preparing an attack on the blockade. Lady Cattell must be behind this. I have to warn them, or they'll all be slaughtered. If I'm gonna warn the miners, I'll need to find their leader, Karst. They won't budge an inch without his say-so. Gah! What have I done? It's this damn instrument! Volpan looked at the strange lyre with disgust. I wish I'd never touched this damn thing. Maybe if I give it back to Lady Cattell, that might smooth things over. After all, a fault confessed is half redressed. If I write a letter of apology and present it to the Council of Mothers, they might be able to put pressure on Cattell and prevent her from ordering massacre. Volpan looked at the lyre once more before packing it into his satchel. Slowly, painfully, he dragged himself to his feet. Alright, Volpan, you can fix this. He took a look around in an effort to get his bearings. To his left, he saw the fumes of the city rising above the trees. To his right, the silhouettes of the Ferris Mount shrouded in the acrid smoke from the mines. Better get moving. Your adventure begins now. Make your own choices and discover their consequences. Welcome to Foretales. Wow, that was all the tutorial? The cursed lyre is proving to be more trouble than it's worth. But perhaps if Volpan were to return to Lady Cattell and beg for forgiveness, then maybe, just maybe, she'd show some mercy. The miners are in danger, not just from the local militia. They won't budge without word from their leader, Karst. Time to plan a visit. The theft of the relic didn't exactly go as planned. Leo's in jail, and Lady Cattell's out for revenge. Volpan needs to break his friend out fast. Let's go bust our friend out of prison. Unfortunately, our timer is gonna... I never set the timer. Alright, well, this is probably a good place to save and quit mission. Are you sure you want to quit the mission? Let's just see what the... Just see where it starts here when you restart. Oh, okay, right back here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, make sure to give us a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to Chichuki, and do you like this story-driven card game type game? This is Foretales. Again, I want to thank the developers for the review code. I am going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It does get a little over-complicated at times, as you saw in the tutorial. Just a little bit. There were moments where I wasn't sure what I was able to do and what I couldn't do. I love the voice acting from what you've heard. The narrator and Leo. Leo's pretty cool. He's like a tiger. And Volpan is pretty cool too. I like, he looks more like a buzzard or like a crane than a crow, but that's fine. Basic, you can have 4 files going at one time. Options, basic options. You know what, I don't want to watch the credits, but thank you guys for putting together a good game. It reminds me of like a darker Disney movie from like the early 80s, late 70s, like Robin Hood, the Disney version. That's pretty cool. I like all the artwork, everything's good. Like I said, the voice acting is really good from what I've heard. But again, I am giving it an 8.5 out of 10. My name is Steve, aka Chichuki. We hope to see you in the next one. Ladies, have a good night, everybody.